You're now watching Gandhiji.io, smart contract written on the Ethereum blockchain. The Ethereum blockchain, for those who don't know, Ethereum right now is the number 2 crypto, following the grandmother or grandfather of all cryptos, Bitcoin. Ethereum was the first blockchain that introduced a smart contract to the world. And this contract that you're looking at is a decentralized application that's written on the Ethereum network. It's called Gandhiji.io. But I have to add or share a perspective in regards to why there are people who are in the decentralized application space who exclaim that they don't like Ethereum. I've heard the same arguments over and over again about why they don't like Ethereum versus another blockchain such as Tron. You know, I mean, sure, it's fair to say that Ethereum is slow. The gas fees can be pricey, versus Tron, which is much quicker, much cheaper to use and transact, right? But it's interesting because I follow, the talk or the narrative, and by way of different people in the YouTube community who are in crypto, who speak about different things, different projects, who understand hourglass model. Because, ladies and gents, you're looking at a contract that models the hourglass style, proof of weak hands type of concept. It's not the exact duplication of the original proof of weak hands, but it is an hourglass contract style type of project, right? You have people who have been noted as marketers or enthusiasts, hobbyists, promoters, who understand how the hourglass model works because they interacted with them, and they've also promoted different projects. So initially, their exposure to the hourglass model was through Ethereum. You had to use Ethereum in order to get into these contracts. Now, you have Tron, again, that's doing the same thing with their own projects, Hourglass, but Tron is just, it moves a lot quicker, much, much faster. Okay. But I think the reason why the folks who used to be who are in Dapps, who used to get into smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain, who no longer like to talk about Ethereum, or who choose to get into Tron and everything, and then they talk in an unfavorable way about Ethereum, I think what put a bad taste in their mouth is this contract that you're looking at, Gandhiji.io. And the reason why I say this is because Gandhiji.io is a successful smart contract to date. This contract was launched, according to the developer, on April 10th, 2018. And to date, it has been nothing short of successful. okay? Yes, it's on the Ethereum blockchain. Yes, Ethereum has been working on making upgrades and improvement for at least 3 years. You know, they have even Vitalik very recently put out a tweet noting the upgrades that are to come on the Ethereum, blockchain. Those of us who are in the space have been waiting for Ethereum 2.0. Whenever that comes out is when it will come out. It's been 3 long years. That's a long time, especially in crypto, when a week is equal to, a year. So granted, the network is still going through its changes. But this contract that's written on the Ethereum blockchain is successful. And I think a lot of Dapp users who profess to be, who continue to use different Dapps don't like Ethereum. It's not just because the transactions are slow. It's not just because, and this is all my opinion, it's not just because the gas fees are too high. I think it's because of this contract, because of the success of this contract, and because people have or feel that they've lost their opportunity to ride the waves of success if they would have just interacted with this contract whenever they chose to do so and just ride it out. And you hear mixed feelings, mixed opinions from these same Dapp users. And it's not all Dapp users. It's not all of them. I'm just noting out the ones that will talk about how ETH is too slow, but they were in Ethereum-based smart contracts, right? And those smart contracts that they were in ended up scamming out. And all of a sudden, they just lump everything bad by saying, forget about it. I don't like ETH. I don't interact with ETH. But where is the logic in that? When you have this one particular smart contract, ladies and gentlemen, that you're looking at, Gandhiji.io, that's still actively working on the Ethereum network. So I think it's more than just about not liking Ethereum. These guys, when they talk about not liking Ethereum, they're not liking Ethereum because Gandhiji has been working. And they feel bad. They're embarrassed. They could be ashamed. They could have possibly wished that they wouldn't have talked, against the project for whatever reason, or that they would have interacted with the project a long time ago. See, people think that it's a race against time with these hourglass contracts because so many clones, hundreds of clones that have scammed out of the people, really made people to believe in that falsehood that you have to get in right away. You have to be the first to get into the contract in order to earn the greatest amount of returns that you can earn. In Gandhiji.io, that is not true at all. And these guys, they allow their pride, and their self-centeredness get in the way of seeing and just allowing themselves to experience a successful cryptocurrency project. They allow their own egos and whatever flawed type of, belief they have against this contract cloud their judgment and block them from experiencing a successful project, a successful working project. Man, I remember when an old colleague of mine talked to me about cryptocurrency a few years ago. She asked me, if I knew about Bitcoin around, I think it was 2015 or 14. I think it was 2014. She asked me if I knew about Bitcoin, and I didn't know anything about Bitcoin except from the stuff I heard hearsay, from people saying that, this is not real. It's something that, people use to, conduct illicit activities or buy illicit products and illegal means and things with, the Silk Road and all that stuff. So I didn't treat it serious at all. I let my ignorance and my unwillingness to investigate at the time or to, do some research and just read, I allowed that to keep me from experiencing greater success that I could have experienced if I just took the time and just listened and did some study on the subject. If people could just take the time to listen and study what Ethereum is about by interacting through this contract, you'll be doing yourself and your loved ones a great service. This is another chance. Like, with crypto, especially with this hourglass thing, again, people think that they need to jump in quick or else they'll miss the boat. Because it's in some cases these contracts were launched with timers. These contracts meaning the clones of the proof of weak hands model. They were launched with timers. They would launch with the idea that it's a game that you're getting ready to jump in. Whoever jumps in first will receive the most dividends. Whoever jumps in first and has the strongest hands will receive the most dividends. You don't want to be a weak hand, right? Because when you're a weak hand, that means you have to get rid of your crypto and pay fees. So you're incurring the loss of your crypto and then you're incurring even more crypto because you have to pay fees that are doled out by way of dividends to all the remaining participants in the smart contract. So you don't want to be a loser per se. But that's not the case in this contract. That's not the case with this IND. IND is the tokens you receive when you interact with Gandhiji.io. That self shaming and making people feel bad, like with all the other smart contracts out there. This is not what takes place here. This has been by far, in my humble opinion, the most successful smart contract to date. It's not the first smart contract, but this is the most successful. The most successful. So people say that they don't like ETH. People who are in Dapps, who used to play with Ethereum Dapps, decentralized applications, who today say that they don't like Ethereum, it's because they see how Gandhiji.io is working. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong in this. I don't think I'm wrong with this. It's a hard pill to swallow for some of these guys. They won't admit it. And it's not for them to admit it. This is only logical. This is all about logic here. Let's be logical. Not irrational. Not emotional. Let's be logical. For all intents and practical purposes, this works. It just takes time Greatness takes time to manifest. This is a great project in the Ethereum blockchain. Hands down. Hands down. So when you, for the viewers who are new and entering the space, when you find this video, it's my intention to encourage the viewers to really look at what it is that it's laid out in front of you, and probe, just look into it. Look into these contracts. Look into what's going on. Look into how Ethereum works. Look into what a smart contract is. Look into what the decentralized application space has and what it presents to the world. What is an hourglass model? Just what do you have to do? What do all these things? How do you create a MetaMask wallet, a Trust wallet? What is it that you need to interact with these contracts? What's going to be your strategy? What's made this contract work? What makes this contract stand out among all the others? Okay? Do the work. Do the work so you don't get scammed. There have been thousands of hourglass contracts that came out, and since this thing has been out, since Gandhiji that has been out, and none of them to date can say they've been as successful as this contract is. So why deny yourself? Let's pause. Let's put everybody else aside for a second. Why deny yourself the chance to allow your crypto to grow over time just by holding on to IND tokens? Why are you allowing yourself the chance of possibly incurring innumerable amount of staking, innumerable amount of Ethereum from various means? Again, when Ethereum 2.0 launches, right? When it really launches and it introduces staking into its into the network, the way that they're trying to design it, not only will those who follow whatever means that they set out, some people say you have to have at least 32 Ethereum to be able to stake when 2.0 is launched. Those of us who are interacting with Gandhiji.io are staking every day just by holding the tokens. So we're already staking. And on top of that, when Ethereum 2.0 launches, effectively we'll be staking. That's another way that we will also be staking, upon earning, and upon receiving dividends. The opportunity is immense. Why? Not to mention Index.io, that it's also on this, going to be directly tied to this project, because Index.io is a separate project that the developer is creating a decentralized person-to-person exchange to allow people to exchange their crypto to fiat. IND holders will also receive dividends from transactions that are taking place in the Index decentralized exchange. So, logic, yeah. And I'm saying these things because I see the noise taking place in other blockchains. and other marketers who would be promoters, who would be Dapp creators, and yada yada yada. They're running. They're just. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're trying to, be a competitor. But if you want to be a competitor to, let's say, Ethereum, or let's say specifically Gandiji.io, at least be a competitor that's rising to the occasion in a noble way, where you're not just creating a casino Dapp or something of that nature. You're creating a Dapp to fix a problem that you can identify that's affecting tons of people, to where you could say, wow, this project can be respected. This project can be respected. It can be just as successful and withstand, the test of time, as well as Gandiji has. But those projects are not existent as of yet. Because all this other stuff that's happening in these other Dapp blockchains that promote Dapps, it's just a mess. It's a bunch of stuff that just. Meanwhile, over here, you have this. It's right here, chugging along. It's about logic, people. It's about logic. It's about logic. Another, I heard a promoter say recently that this promoter was not, it did not want to deal with ETH at all. But the promoter just recently promoted another project, an Ethereum-based smart contract, but you're not into ETH. And the Ethereum-based smart contract wasn't Gandiji. They decided to promote another smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain because it was new. It was another chance to grab money quick. And the project is, from what I'm hearing, is not making that much noise. And in effect, it's like crashing and it's burning. And this was a person who understood, who was initially in the Dapp space. He was initially interacting with Ethereum smart contracts. When this project IND was launched, he was interacting with other smart contracts that have since crashed, exit scammed, and burned. And as recent as this month, 2019, November 2019, he's exclaiming that he doesn't like ETH, but he just promoted another ETH contract, smart contract, but it wasn't Gandiji, and the smart contract he promoted isn't doing well. Something to think about.